let's just get into the video. So pretty much on August 10th at 12 p.m. I started getting minor contractions, and so right then and there I texted my mom. She was at work anyways, so I texted her an hour before, so it was like around 11:30, like maybe 30 minutes before like 12. It's like, Mom, I'm not feeling good. And she was like, okay, text me back in 30 minutes. So I did. I'm like, Mom. She didn't freaking reply to her text, so I called her. Like, I waited 5 minutes to call her, and I was like, Mom, I'm getting contractions. They feel like contractions. They don't feel like period cramps. So she was like, okay, I'll be home in 20 minutes. So I waited and waited and waited. I didn't even want to move from my bed. I'm like, if this baby comes out right now and I start dilating like this, me thinking as a 17-year-old, okay, it doesn't happen like that. So she got home, and by the time she was here, it was already like 12:30. So she was like, okay, what you're gonna do, get your clothes, you're gonna go hop in the shower, and I'm gonna get your backpack and the baby's diaper bag, because I had them ready in my, put away like in my closet. It was in the storage area from the closet. And she was all like, okay, go hop in the shower. So I hopped in the shower, I took a shower, and she was like, okay, are you hungry? Just in case, if you stay there, you're not gonna eat until who knows when, until tomorrow, maybe tonight, I don't know. And I was like, I kind of am. So she made me eat cereal, just just to have something in my stomach, so not starve the whole night. So I ate, and by 1:02, by 1, we left and we went to the hospital. We got there at 1:15, so we live like 20 minutes away from where I was gonna give birth to my son. We waited like 30 minutes, almost 40 minutes, just waiting to get a free room available, because he had to clean it up and everything, to like sanitize it and all of that for me. So we're like there. I was like, Mom, I'm feeling worse. And she's like, you know what? Even if they told you to go back home, you're not gonna go back home. You're staying. Like, that's it. We're not gonna move. You're gonna stay here, because I'm not gonna drive back when you're 3 centimeters, because that could just, happen right away and the baby's here. I was like, okay. Anyways, I didn't want to come back home, because, you never know. I just contract real quick, but I didn't, thank God, because, so they checked me, and I was like 1.5 centimeters dilated. They were like, you should go back home. Me and my mom argued with the doctor. We're like, you're not gonna send me back home. I'm not gonna go back home. There's like no point in wasting gas going home and coming back, and then you guys might send me back again and have to come back. So it's really not gonna work out for me, They're like, okay, we'll check you again in an hour. So within that hour, I dilated to 2 centimeters. And okay, we'll check you again in 2 hours. So by the 2-hour mark, they checked me and I was 2.5 centimeters. And they're like, you know what? We're not even gonna send you home, because you're gonna be 3 anytime soon. So like they waited another hour, and bam, I was 3.5 centimeters dilated. So they just kept me. And then once I was like 6 to the other room, so like the labor room, which was a nicer room, honestly. So I was in labor for about 28 hours before my son, decided to be like, oh, I'm here, hey world, out of my womb, and just to deliver my son, it took almost 3 hours. He didn't want to come out at all. Like, he just didn't. To push him out, it took me 2 hours. I was in labor, for 28, and during that time mark of 28 hours, I ended up getting an epidural right at 9 centimeters, which my epidural was actually an emergency epidural. It was between my life or death, because my body just couldn't handle and deal with the contractions anymore. Like, I was so much out of breath. And I still remember signing papers saying that if I died, I died. And I told the doctors too, if I died, to save my son's life, because I knew that he was going to be in good hands with my parents, his grandma and grandpa, his uncles, So I signed those papers. Also, during my labor and delivery, I had an oxygen mask on my face because of me not being able to give enough oxygen to my son. So his heartbeat was also dropping, also as mine. And I was going into like a shock in a way that my body really wasn't cooperating with everything that was going on. But I also got the the vaccine that goes in your IV, I got 3 shots of that. And so they were like, you can't get them anymore, you need to get the epidural like right now. And also I had to get like what they call help from a doctor because my son was there ready to come out of my vagina, right? I'm not even gonna like sugarcoat this, but since I had to get like the extra help from a doctor, my son is a vacuum baby, so there's like this thing that it's kind of like a silicone thing, and then like it has this knob to twist it, and it helps you push the baby's head out of your vagina. So they did that. I don't even remember what it's called, but like it's something like that, you know. They just put the thing on your head, and then with that they hope the baby come out a bit faster. So they did that. And the first time I broke, the second time fine, it got into his head, but it also got my vagina. So like I teared a lot more because of that, and at the end I had 25 plus stitches down there and all the way and pretty much in there, stitched it up. So on August 11th, my son was born at 2:03 p.m. He was born 6 pounds 11 ounces, and he was 22 inches long. But now, and it's been 2 years since I had my son, so I'm 19 now. Sometimes my back does hurt, and I feel like a tiny little pain here and there, and I'm just like, ow, like shit, like that shit hurts. But it mainly hurts when I'm like in the cold and in the hot. So it's like a mix of a combination into one. Like if it's really, really cold and it's hot and it's mixed together, it hurts. But other than that, I'm not in pain. That's the good thing, you know. Like I thank God for that, because I would be in pain almost every day, but like it didn't happen like that. Here's a clip of me holding my son for the very first time, and of course I sent him the ABCs. My most pride, happiest day of meeting my son for the first time, honestly, he changed my whole life around. And because of him, I finished high school, I'll be going to college, and I started my own business at 19. And obviously I'm still doing YouTube because I want to look back at all these videos as a video diary for him. When I had my son, they waited for me to recover a bit while I ate and all of that, to like take a little nap. So those 2 hours that I was still in the delivery room, they transferred me over to the recovery side of the hospital. After you have a baby, that's where mothers recover. So I went there in a wheelchair, in the elevator, they took me there, and I got this nurse. All the details, the full story, so I'm gonna give it to you guys. So once I went to that room, she came in rude as hell, like not even nice. I said hi politely and everything. She was like, oh, so you're the mom? Wow. Like she literally rolled her eyes. I was just like, the fuck? Like, did she just do that? You're really young to be a mom. Why did you keep the baby? And she really asked me multiple questions. I was just like, I don't need to give you an answer. I'm happy with my baby and I'm here. So, and then she left. So an hour or two go by, and I'm like, I tell my mom, I'm in so much pain down there. My boobs are hurting, because I was really encouraging, because I was really producing milk, like, you know. So I asked for like this heat pad that you put on here, on your boob when it hurt, but for like down there, because also that same day that I gave birth, I got my period. So yeah, you get your period right after. Well, it depends on the person's body and all that, but I got my period right after. So yeah, she came back and she was like, well, it's time for you to learn how to breastfeed your son. He needs to learn how to latch onto you. I couldn't do it. I did it for like a minute and I was like, I can't do it. It hurts so much. Like this pain hurts badly. So she was like, okay, since you don't want to breastfeed your son, then I'll send like a counselor. It was like literally like the room next door to me. Like there was a day for counseling to learn how to breastfeed your son and all of that. Or if you wanted to like not breastfeed, you could do formula or like the bottled formula type of milk. So she came and she gave me some advice, this and that. And since I said no right then and there, she left, and then the lady came back in, rude as hell again. She was like, well, right now you need to go pee. And I was like, pee? I don't want to get off the bed. I'm in pain. So pretty much when she pulled me from like, she helped me, right? As she calls it, helps me. Well, helped me off the bed. She pretty much turned me super quick that it hurt down there, and I was in so much pain after that. And then when she got me off the bed, she pulled me by my arm, and like I pretty much kind of jumped off the bed. And from then she was like, okay, let's go to the bathroom. And then when she was really like by the door waiting for me to get there, because I was walking really slow, it was honestly the most painful experience of my life, having so many stitches down there after having a baby. That was just like not even thinking of walking quick to the bathroom at this point. I didn't even care if I had to pee badly, but I was just like, I'm not gonna walk quick. She was like, hurry up, I have more patients to deal with, not just you. You're a teenager, so you can walk faster. And I was just like, I'm in pain. Like, I just had a baby 2 hours ago. Like, you should understand it was 2 hours ago, not even a day ago. So I'm obviously gonna be in pain. So meanwhile, I walk to the bathroom. She gets like the spray bottle, as they call this spray bottle, but it's really a squirt bottle like that you use to squirt. She fills it up with warm water, and by the time I get to the door, she's like, okay, hurry up, sit down. So since I don't sit quick, she pretty much forces me to sit on the toilet. So as she sits me down on the toilet with so much force, and I sit super fast, and my legs open a bit, open a lot, that the stitch came out. And I told her a stitch just came out. It's just like, it's not my problem, you're gonna still heal. I was just like, dude, like, I wanted to cry right then and there, but I just holded my tears so much. I was just like, don't even say nothing, just stay quiet. So I peed so slow because it burned and it hurt and everything, like the worst pain ever. Okay, so after I'm done peeing, she's like, well, you need to poop. And I was like, I don't need to poop. I pooped literally before I even had my son, so I don't need to poop. And she was like, okay. So when she gives me the bottle, she's like, this is how you're gonna use it, and this is how you're gonna clean yourself. So she taught me how to use the squirt bottle and how to clean myself. So when they teach you how they do it themselves, and then you do it. So she cleaned me, and she was like, this is how you're gonna do it next time you come to the bathroom on your own and pee, and that is how you're gonna use the squirt bottle when you come back next time. I was like, okay. So after she put like the water down there, because you start bleeding, and so you need the squirt bottles because you can't clean yourself regularly, with the toilet paper. And so with the toilet paper, she grabbed some. I don't even know. I think she kind of wrapped it in a way. And when she cleaned me, another stitch came out. So that same day that I had my son, 2 stitches came out. So that was already strike 1 for her. So after that, she pulled back my underwear because I couldn't even bend to get my underwear because I was in excruciating pain that I couldn't even do that myself. So then after I washed my hands, and she's like, okay, go back to your bed. So when she helped me pretty much back on my bed, I used all of my upper body force to get on the bed, and she just pretty much turned me around and she left. And I had the control next to me, and I just got the cover because it was on my side. I just threw it back on me. So then that same day around 8 p.m. At 7, she came back. She was like, have you ate dinner already? I was like, I didn't eat earlier. I didn't eat the lunch earlier because I didn't like it. She's like, well, you got food already, so don't even ask anymore. It's already late. Anyways, the kitchen is already closed. I was like, okay. So I told my mom went out of her way to go buy me something to eat because I was starving. I was really hungry. So she went, and then she came back, and at the time, the dad was there, but he was asleep during the whole of me being in pain, being pretty much in labor. He was asleep. And then once my son was born, the dad was asleep. He wouldn't want to help. He would be sleeping. So the time that I was in the hospital, the dad was just, dead asleep. Even though my son would cry, I'll be like, Mom. And she'll get the baby from the little bassinet, and she'll give him to me, and I'll give him the milk. The dad didn't help once in the hospital, and he wasn't really helping anyway, so it was just whatever. But fast forward the next day, August 12th, that same day, no, I think it was still the day actually, let's rewind back a bit. So that same day, August 11th, at nighttime, his dad's family members, his aunt and his aunt's, I think husband, I don't even know anymore, came to visit me after having a baby. And when they came, that's when the nurse came back in to check up on me. And since I was telling her I'm okay, she left. But then I told my mom what happened earlier in the morning, and my mom got mad. And since his aunt was there, she also got pissed off at the fact how she treated me earlier. But I was already in pain again, so I told my mom that like a heat pad to put down there because my cramps were like torturing me, like they were really painful and really bad. So my mom calls, and the nurse comes in with like this little cart with the laptop, my medicines to take, the pain and all of that, and many more medicines to help me. And she had the heat pads there. But once I told her what it was for, she just gave me like the medicines and my vitamins. And she didn't care that I was in pain. She thought that it was for my breast, and I was like, it's not for my breast, it's for my cramps. She was like, you don't need it for that. So she left, literally with everything in hand. She only gave me the vitamins and that was it. And some prune juice to like poop the next morning. And since my mom and his aunt saw that how she treated me right there in front of them too, my mom was kind of like, she didn't really want to talk to like the manager of the nurses, but she did, because of the aunt was like, if you don't go talk to her, I'm gonna go fight her, and I don't care if I get like, you know, taken out of the hospital, I'm gonna go fight her, or this and that. And mom was like, okay, like I'll go talk to them. So my mom goes and she talks to like the head nurse, like, you know, the manager of all nurses in the hospital. Mom told her what happened earlier and what happened right then and there, so she got 2 strikes right there. So once my mom talked to her, they immediately removed the nurse out of my room. And since they didn't really have the nurse that they were gonna like give me for those next 3 days, they sent me somebody else for just that night. She was really nice and polite, and I thank God that the other nurse was switched to this other nurse. She was really cool, but she was like, I'm just your nurse for tonight. Tomorrow morning you will see your actual nurse who will be taking care of you for the next 3 days. So I was like, okay. She was like, are you hungry? Like, I know I treated you earlier and I know you can have any dinner, but are you hungry? And I was like, no, I already ate. My mom had to go out of her way and buy me food. And like with the other nurse, before the other nurse for the whole night came, my mom was really gonna go out and buy me a heat pad to put for my cramps, because I was like cramping really bad. I was like cramping, like I was legit crying at the hospital. But fast forward to this other nurse for the night nurse. She was cool and she helped me out a lot. She would be checking up on me like every 20 to 25 minutes. Like it was that crazy. So the next morning my actual nurse came in. I love this nurse to death because she was like legit the coolest nurse that even still to this day we still talk. Like I have her on Facebook, she has my number, she has all my social media and my email. We still talk, and her kids are like the cutest babies ever. Because when she was my nurse at the time, she was actually pregnant. So I saw her little baby blow. And she was like, I'm 3 months pregnant. I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. But we became friends and all of that. And my next 3 days of being in the hospital, there was a great experience that I didn't even want to leave the hospital. But thanks to this nurse, I felt so much better. I felt so much positivity coming from her. Every morning as soon as she would come in, she'll be like, okay honey, like I'm gonna leave in a few hours. So by like 7:30 when I was about to eat dinner, she was like, I'm gonna leave already, okay? And I'll be like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow morning. She was like, yeah. So every for those next 3 days she'll be like, have you ordered your breakfast? Have you ordered your lunch? Have you ordered your dinner? I was like, no, not yet. So she'll literally go downstairs to get the menu and bring it to me for those next 3 days. And she was like, have you taken your vitamins? Have they given you your vitamins yet? I was like, no. She was like, are you gonna breastfeed your baby? I'm like, I'm still thinking about it. But she wasn't like forcing me to do it, you know, like the first one did. But so those 3 days were like the good days, and the nurse was like, she loved my son. Like she really loved my son. She fell in love with my son. So I feel like we bonded more. And that same day that I was leaving on Tuesday, because I was there Friday night. No. So I went in August 10th. Friday night, August 10th, because I had my son Saturday, August 11th. So that same day, like the few days after, because I was in the hospital for 4 days. So August 14th of 2018, on a Tuesday, that's when I was released to come home. And my nurse was like, I don't want you to leave. Like, honestly, you're like one of my greatest patients, even though you're really young. But you look so mature for your age. You're like really mature. You really know what you want to do with your life. Because we were like, every time the show would come in, she'll be like in my room for like 30 minutes more to talk about what my future is going to be, if I'm going to still continue to do school. And I even told her, yeah, I'm actually doing homeschool. I left my brother to do homeschool. And she was like, oh my god, really? I was like, yep. Like, I didn't quit. I continued to succeed. And at the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But like, now that we've made her talk, she's like, oh my god, you have a business. I'm like, yeah. She's like, girl, I'm gonna order for me more often. But anyways, going back to me leaving the hospital, she was like, I don't want you to leave. Like, honestly, if it was for me, you would stay here until your son was like a month old. Because I don't want you to leave. Like, honestly, I don't want you to leave. She really cried the day I left. And I even cried when I left. I was like, I don't want to leave either. Like, honestly, you're like the best nurse that I've had this whole time. Like, and I really thank her and appreciated her so much that I even went back like 3 months after and I gave her like a little gift. Even though it was a bad and a good experience at the end it was the greatest experience, even though I gave birth to my son and no regrets, you know. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and that was my official labor and delivery. And sorry if you guys saw the first one, it was like me giving like a little story time and then the labor and delivery, but this was like the official one. I'm now managing pictures. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time guys, bye. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe.